That is still a banger. Man, I still love that song. So, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Classes of Mail. My name is Alan Gigax, and I'm here with Michael Brazenly.
Hi everyone.
Oh, wait, that was really quiet. Try that again.
I said hi everyone.
Hello? I'm not... Oh, you got muted.
Oh, you might mute me.
I don't recall pressing that button.
But hi
you
everyone.
There we go. Oh, that's nice. That's that good rich sound. All right, so today is another mailbag day, and I am pleased as punch with the amount of questions that we have gotten in the mailbag. We may have to record 2 mailbag episodes because so many questions came in, and it's fantastic. Please keep them coming. classesofmail@gmail.com. And Michael, you ready to get right into the first question? All right, so I will redact any identifying information. This message comes from a person who says they need help with equitability. And for those of you who are uninitiated, this is the quarterly... Management has an obligation to distribute overtime in an equitable manner so that the people who want the overtime get it, roughly the same amount of overtime. Right, they get it equitably. Yeah. And we keep track of it as the quarter goes along. And then at the end of the quarter, if there are discrepancies, then we'll file a grievance.
Right.
Where the people who are low on overtime should be brought up at least to the average.
Now, here's something that we have locally, a local member of understanding, is we're supposed to have a weekly meeting with management on equitability.
Right. Yes. Yeah, and it's good policy because there are arguments that are going to develop as the weeks go on. And is yours quiet?
Well, I think mine's quiet. Because it comes out very low.
I think it's because... Hold on a sec, everybody. Okay.
Hopefully this works.
Oh, dude.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah,
look at that. Yeah. You're loud now. All right. I got to turn you down. Okay. So anyway, with equitability. Mm-hmm. Well, so the arguments will come up throughout the quarter that, this person had an opportunity for overtime and didn't take it.
Did you want to read it?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't realize I cut myself off.
Yeah.
Dude, we really have our act together here. All right. So anyway, for the regular overtime list, how should equitability be counted? If I remember correctly, it should be the total number of overtime hours worked. My steward and boss are going off opportunity hours. So when I go on vacation, I'm getting charged opportunity hours when I'm not even available. When I come back from my vacation, my opportunity hours go way up, but my total actual hours stay low. This, to me, doesn't sound fair at all.
Because you're right. This is not fair.
It is not fair at all, and that's bogus. That is not the way opportunity is supposed to work.
Management is supposed to give the most opportunity for you when you come back from vacation to make up that overtime.
Right. Well, they give the opportunity should be to whoever is low on overtime.
Right. And so because the opportunity, when you are sitting down with management on equitability, that is management's contention to use against the steward for that opportunity.
Right.
Okay?
The steward's argument will be on the actual hours.
Right.
That, hey, Michael had 105 hours. Alan only had 60 hours. You should have given more hours to Alan.
Exactly.
And then management will counter with,
opportunities.
There was one day where we told Alan to come in on his day off. Well, that doesn't work anymore with the new list. So there was one day where we gave Alan a 4-hour handoff, and he's like, no, I can't take it. I got to go home for...
And where's your proof?
Right. Well,
okay. See, here's the thing. When on the opportunity that management talks about, they have to show proof that they actually tried to give you overtime.
Right. And
that
then
is
you didn't
calling you or whatever. They have to write notes of some kind. They have to show some kind of proof that they actually try to give the opportunity to the carrier.
That's exactly right.
And without that proof, they can say anything they want. Okay.
Right. It would be the opportunities. I always thought of it when I was doing the equitability as a declined opportunity, which really a carrier, if you're on the ODL, you shouldn't be declining anyway.
Right.
Like you're not supposed to be able to decline except like your birthday, your anniversary.
Well, it's like when your day off, they're having you coming on your day off.
Yeah, back when we used to
and
do day
they're
off.
Trying to call you and you didn't answer the phone. So to management, that's the opportunity lost for that carrier.
But to the union, we don't see it that way.
No, because we also have to see that they actually did try to call.
Right.
So they have to show proof that they actually try to call.
Yeah. And so this is where at the end of the quarter, this stuff can
Most
be
managers
really
don't remember
contentious.
what they did. So
and
we usually win.
So we need evidence that the hours were distributed inequitably. And that's really easy. That's on the hours report. And
the
tally up those
opportunity
hours.
is for management to show proof of.
Right. Where we tried to give this person overtime and they rejected it. Right. It's not because how do you get an opportunity for overtime when you're on vacation? Yeah. You're not available for overtime.
Stewards should be working with management opportunity time. No, that's only for management. To try to
for
prove
them
that.
to say, that's a way they try to mitigate the lack of equitability.
Right.
But ultimately, and I've heard that, I think Corey talked about this at one time in an arbitration, that you can't buy groceries with opportunities. It needs actual hours.
Yes.
That I'm not on the overtime list I'm on the overtime list for the money.
Well, I tried to contact that guy, but he just didn't hear me.
Right, exactly. Hey, do you want to come in today?
Yeah.
Let me know. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I guess he's not coming in. And we're going to have to give the overtime to the same runner who always gets the overtime.
Yeah. See, they can't do that.
And that's what we're fighting against. Right, exactly. All right, let's move on to the next question. Okay, here's our next question, and it's very different. This one says... could you give advice on regularly subbing on routes for helping out with route maintenance? Some carriers I sub for are really good at it, but others struggle with labeling, forwards, managing vacancies, etc. The main thing I'd like to be good at is freeing up parcel lockers. Strategies for tracking how long parcel has been there and when and how to move it. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about that part first, about the parcel lockers, because this applies to everybody, whether you're a sub or not. I had a regular carrier who delivered this guy, one of my best regulars I ever had. And he was super organized, super clean, super meticulous. And he had a route that had a lot of apartments on it. That dude, I think he's now the plant manager, actually. He went into management, and now he's the plant manager. And he's a decent guy. Anyway, he was super...
Actually, a decent guy became a manager?
I know.
Wow.
Maybe he's not decent anymore. But last time I talked to him, he still came across as decent.
Okay.
All right, so anyway... But he was meticulous about the way he would organize his route. And he had a very large apartment complex that had a lot of parcel lockers. And in apartments, as you know, people just don't pick up their mail very often, even if they have a parcel. And so he instituted a list where he had a chart. It was in one of the empty boxes in the, one of the empty mailboxes. And this chart had every parcel locker, and you would put on the chart what apartment number had the parcel in there and what date you put it in. And then when the key would when the person would get their package out of the parcel locker, then you'd go and retrieve the key, and then you'd cross that off the list, indicating that unit was available. And this was really easy because they were listed in, it must have been by date order. Because then you could just go up the list and see what hasn't been crossed off yet and realize that package has been in there for 2 weeks. Now it's time to take it out and either return it as unclaimed, or what he would do, because he had excellent customer service, he would attempt it to the door. And it was such a great way to handle it. And it's one of those things, and this is true, I think, of almost all route maintenance, that it kind of sounds like a lot of work to set up. But once it's set up, it takes a matter of seconds to keep it going.
Now it's different because all I got is CBUs.
Right. And there's only like 1 or 2 parcel lockers in each CBU.
Right. So what I do is, let's say I got 3 parcels for the same 2 parcel locker.
Sure.
Okay, 3 of them. What I do is I put the 2 parcels that's the farthest away from the CBU.
Exactly. Yes. Okay.
And then deliver the package, especially the house that's right behind the CBU.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And the reason for it is, how many times, Alan, that who doesn't pick up their mail?
Oh, the people who live furthest away, of course.
No.
Oh, really?
It's the people who live right behind the mailbox is the one who always don't pick up the mail.
See, I don't deliver CBUs, so I don't have
So the person that's always got the CBU right in front of their house, they're the ones who don't pick up the mail.
Dude, I have 1 CBU on my route, and I'm thinking about the address that's full, and dude, you might be onto something.
Yeah, because I just pulled all the mail for one of the houses, and the date that you can go by is how many advos are that's in there, because advos actually tell you what date that was in there.
Yeah.
And the oldest one was April 13th.
Wow.
And so I pulled all the mail.
Oh my God.
I pulled all the mail. And and then I vacated the box, because it's been there since April.
Right.
Okay? And then about 2 weeks later, the customer complained, "Hey, we're still there. How come the mail's gone?" This is 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they're like, "Well, we all live here." Well, you haven't picked up your mail since April.
Right.
Okay. So I know for a fact most of the time it's the people that live and that they live right behind the mailbox.
Right. So
Okay.
again,
No
with,
excuse.
yeah. Again, with managing parcel lockers, you can always rescan the item. You know that if you have a parcel that's going way down the street and there's already one in the parcel locker that's going to the house right next to you, just rescan that one as front door, put yours in the parcel locker. You know, that's fine. You can do all that. The other thing that I noticed is sometimes people will put parcels in the locker that'll fit in the mailbox.
And of course, the most annoying about parcel lockers is
Yeah.
on Sundays when you got CCAs going out there delivering Amazon. Instead of putting it in front of the house, they put it in all the CBUs.
To me, that's fine.
And then, well, they block the mailbox the next day, so there's no parcel lockers anymore.
Right. Yeah, okay. I hear you.
They're supposed to be delivering to the front of the door, not to the CBU.
I don't know about that.
That's true. That's what they're supposed to do. The front of the door.
I haven't seen that in any handbook or manual. I would have to see.
There is no handbooks and manual to deliver on Sunday either.
Well, then they can do whatever they please then, as far as I'm concerned.
In reality, we're supposed to be off on Sunday.
Ain't that the truth? All right. So the other parts of that question were about doing route maintenance when you're subbing. And to me, if you are a carrier technician and you're just subbing 1 day a week, I would generally just let it go.
Yeah,
whatever the regular does.
Let the regular
just
do
let the
stuff.
regular handle it.
So if you're the T6 or you're the sub or whatever you call it,
right,
and you do it 1 day a week, leave it alone.
Exactly.
In fact,
you can ask, hey, do you want help in doing your 3982s?
Yeah.
But generally you're just kind of at their mercy.
Well, even if you have somebody you did for a week that's on annual leave. Okay?
Right.
I would still leave that alone for the regular.
If you're going to be a long-term sub, if you're on a long-term op for months or, that's effectively your route and you should be doing all the maintenance.
Now, if somebody is going on vacation or whatever and somebody says, you're doing the route, they're on vacation.
Right.
And one of the customers goes on a vacation also and they'll be gone for a couple of weeks in the meantime. And you just basically fill out the form for the vacation hold to try to make it imitate what the regular is doing.
Yeah, that's true. That would be so helpful.
And just to imitate, not create your own crap.
Right. Just
try to imitate what the regular is doing.
There are some regulars that I could not, in good conscience, imitate the way they maintain
in that case,
their
you just leave it alone.
Yeah, right.
Let the regular take care of it.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Don't get too invested in it.
If they're on vacation, just rubber band it up, with the vacation hold that came with.
Right.
Until the week is over, you still have it. So when the carrier comes back, they know this person is on vacation.
Right,
they can do it whatever they need to do.
Yep. Close the door. Yep. So that's one of the things that drove me to being a regular with my own route, to getting my own route from being a T6. I was a carrier technician most of my career, and eventually, like I had one really meticulous regular, Chris, and I wished that all of my routes could be like that. And eventually I'm like, dude, if I just get my own route, I can maintain it like the way Chris maintains his. And eventually that's what I did. And it was very satisfying.
So we had a regular, he had his route a certain way to make 8 hours on his route.
Right.
Okay. Then his T6 came in and said, didn't like the line of travel. So he changed up the line of travel on the regular.
Oh, that's overstepping.
Okay.
Yeah.
While he was on vacation.
Oh, no.
Okay? And to make it more efficient for the
T6.
For the T6.
My God.
To make the route shorter than 8 hours.
Well, that's not okay either.
That is not okay.
No.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
And so because management's like, well, he did it and this seems like it's more efficient. Getting it done earlier. So we want to keep it that way. So now that regular was pissed.
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't do that to your regular.
No, do not. That is definitely overstepping.
That's not okay.
Yeah, I had a regular carrier who would do his route out of order every day and then expected me to do it out of order when I was subbing for him. And I offered him, like, hey, if you're going to do it in this order, why don't we just change your line of travel so that it goes in this order? And he said no. And so I just left it alone. All right. So
let the regular do their own route.
Right. All right. Next question. I am an avid listener. Oh, there's some pleasantries in the front. I'm a rank and file carrier, blah, blah, blah. Recently, in this general area, management has gone after us for sample requests. They've been writing us up for missing them or ignoring them. The stewards usually win the grievance, but it's more of a nuanced issue I want to get your thoughts on. I couldn't find anywhere in the handbooks, etc., that even says we have to do sample requests. So my fear is that by even acknowledging these, we're giving management the option to write us up for anything. I think this is a dangerous precedent and would love to hear your and Mike's thoughts.
Oh, I have a good thing on this.
Yes.
First of all, you're right. It is not in any handbooks and manuals.
That is correct.
So therefore, that is not in any of the regulations of any kind. Okay.
Right.
The sample request is a management's tool that we want us to do. Okay.
Right.
So they're just trying to make us do the stuff that management is supposed to be doing.
Okay.
Now, secondly, anything that has to do with the scanner. Do we get disciplined for that? They're
no,
not supposed
scanner
to
data alone cannot
Management
be used.
has
Right.
to show proof that you're purposely ignoring it.
Right.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. The union and everything are going to say you need to follow instructions, right?
I was going to say that.
Okay. So since you have to follow instructions, if they give you instruction that day, say, hey, you got to do a sampling request, you know what I would do?
Tell me.
I deliver all the mail first.
Okay.
Then I do the sample request and all the mail that's in the box. Okay. So you know what? You know what that does?
It makes it seem like all that other
It
mail
comes
came
up as an
late.
error.
Oh,
You know why? Because
Michael.
there's mail from the previous day.
All right.
Okay.
So go ahead.
You followed instruction, right? You scan the sample request.
Yeah. So the question becomes
And-
like, when were you trained on this? What was the proper training?
There is
What's
no
the record
training.
of the training?
There is
Yeah.
no training. There is, but
Right.
here's the thing: if it comes up as an error report on management's issue, and you did follow instruction, you did the sample request,
Right.
there's nothing they can do to get at you at this. Okay, all that's going to do is mess up their report.
Okay.
Okay, if they actually want to make sure that this gets to be done, then they need to get approval with our union, and by Article 15, anything changes in the contract of any kind or whatnot, they have to do it by in writing the changes
Right.
of the rules. They have not done anything about the sample request.
Right. So
So
to this carrier's
yes,
point,
we have
yeah.
to follow instruction,
Right.
but the instruction is to scan all the mail, right?
Yeah.
You're following the instruction.
I
I know I'm being
Yeah. Yeah. You're being
Alan
pedantic
wants to
and-
be nice. I'm never nice.
So, to the questioner's point, though, do you have to do this? You do have to follow management instruction,
Mm-hmm.
but your union is right. They can get you. They should be able to get you out of this easily
Mm-hmm.
because it's relying only on scanner data, and it's not in any handbook or manual, and they can't show that you were properly trained on it or anything like that. So it is a very easy grievance to win. Go ahead.
And request. Hey, can I get a copy of the handbooks and manual on this?
Right. Yeah, that should be part of your information.
That's approved by
request.
the union?
Right. Yeah, exactly. The handbook or manual that covers and any record of this employee's training on that procedure.
Right.
Right. So to answer the question more directly, if management tells you to scan this stuff, do you have to scan it? Yes, management instructed you to do that.
And then if you follow what I do, a lot of times they kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna mess with this guy anymore and go and move on to somebody else.
I get it. I'm not going to say you're wrong.
But here's where I'm being kind of belligerent with management on that. But here's where I'm going to give you something where if you're looking for overtime, then you do it because it'll cause more time on the route. So therefore, you just take your time to do it.
Right.
Okay. And then when they ask, hey, why do you need extra 15 minutes? I said, well, it's because of sampling request. It caused me to go over by 15 minutes, by 30 minutes.
Sure. Anything extra that they ask you to do takes time. Yeah, the worst thing you could do for management is to follow all their instructions. And that malicious compliance, I'm a big fan of that. I like that.
So I'm just letting you guys know the multiple different ways to go about it.
Right. All right. Ready for the next one?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. I am dealing with a situation where management has changed my schedule last minute after the schedule has already been posted the preceding Wednesday. They're mandating me to work this coming Friday on my non-scheduled day. They only notified me of this yesterday, which was Wednesday. So they notified the person Wednesday that they needed to work their non-scheduled day on Friday. I'm having a difficult time convincing my steward or the dumpster fire that is the... Anyway, I'm having a hard time convincing my steward that this is a contractual violation. I pointed them to the ELM, specifically ELM 343.612B, which states, quote, If notice of a temporary schedule change is not given to the employee by Wednesday of the preceding service week, the employee is entitled to work his or her regular schedule. Can you give me any advice on grieving this?
Okay. So because now they're going to work you on your day off, that's
Right.
also out of schedule, and they have to pay you all this extra money
right.
and all that stuff. That's it. Okay. So that's if you work.
Yeah.
If you don't want to work and they're still trying to make you do this,
Well, this is a mandate. Let's
Yeah,
assume
this-
it's a
yeah, this is a
non-ODL
mandate,
carrier.
okay.
They don't want to work.
right.
Yeah.
Since you already got the schedule
Uh-huh.
from the previous week, right?
Yeah, it was
They're
posted
only
on
changing it
Wednesday,
on
that's what they
Wednesday,
said,
2 days before it's supposed
Right,
to happen.
yeah.
How did they notify you?
Oh, that's a great question.
Okay.
Let's assume, for the purposes of this question, let's assume they
Did they
notified
send it
the
to you as a
carrier in
text?
writing. It like a written notice at their case that
Okay.
says, "Hey, you're mandated to work on Friday."
Did you see it?
Okay.
Okay.
Continue with this line of reasoning.
Okay. So here's where I'm coming from. Okay. First of all, if they text it to you, that is your phone that you pay for, and not the post office. So you do not have to reply to on the cell phone.
Agreed.
And so if anything they try to do by trying to call you and you don't answer, or they text you and you don't answer, that means that you did not get that information.
I agree with that. And that's
Okay.
also what I tell CCAs,
Okay.
like when they try to call you in the morning or whatever. Don't answer that
If you
phone.
answer, that means you have to follow instruction.
Right. So let's assume that the carrier did receive the instruction. Maybe the supervisor told them verbally face to face, "Hey, you're required to work on Friday." Now what?
I'm going.
Okay, go
Let
ahead.
me finish
Yeah,
with
please, by all means.
if they put a letter in front of
Right.
your case.
Right.
Well, who knows if somebody you don't like pulled that letter, or
Yeah.
or
This set
tape
it to the
fell
wrong case.
off,
Anything could have happened.
or fan blew it off. You never know.
Right. Anything could have happened.
So until the management can show proof that you actually got that letter, then
Right.
it's null and void.
Right.
Okay. Now, here's what the management can also do: is they can come up to you personally,
Right.
and say, "Hey, we are mandating you to come in on Friday."
Right.
Now they actually have given you an instruction, and you have to follow that instruction.
I agree.
Okay. And so at that point, then you let your steward know that you're being mandated.
Right.
Okay. And because it is a wrongful mandate. Why is it a wrongful mandate?
Because they don't know yet whether they're going to maximize all of their ODL
Exactly. You don't know what
carriers.
mail is coming on that Friday yet,
Right.
because you don't have any reports on it. So they're just mandating people without any reason. Okay. And so therefore that is a grievance, because you should not be mandating people.
Right.
Like
And-
as if you can read the future.
And management can make the argument that, well, we've been shorthanded all week. We've needed people every week, and we need to bring these bodies in. But I will remind you, that is management's argument
Yeah.
to make. Let management make management arguments. We're going to argue for the carrier.
And the biggest argument that's coming from the steward is
Yep.
it is management's responsibility to
schedule,
properly
yeah.
staff.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
Article
if they cannot
3.
have
Yep.
properly staffed, means they are not doing their job by hiring enough people.
That is exactly correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And well, nobody wants to get hired. Whose fault is that?
Oh, dude, management's for having such a shitty starting wage and shitting on CCAs.
Oh, so that's management's
right.
fault,
Yeah,
not
that's
our
exactly right. 100%.
fault. Okay.
Yeah.
They
Or
could, if let's say Brian Renfro says, "Hey, I'm okay with paying CCs only $20 an hour," and the management could have said, "Oh no, you know what? If we do that, then nobody's gonna get hired. So we're gonna have to give them $25."
dude,
Okay.
they could always
Management could have
Hey.
became the hero over Renfro if they would have offered more money.
Speaking of $25, they also have the option to hire directly to PTF, where they would start at around $25.
Yeah.
And we could get people in.
Right.
And the union ain't going to push back on that.
Right.
And so, yeah, this is management's self-created problem.
Yeah, this is their problem. So that is the reason why you file a grievance on it, because it is their fault that they have caused this problem.
Right. So the improper mandate is the grievance.
Mm-hmm.
But do I have to come in? Yeah.
Yes, you still have to follow instruction.
Right.
But again, if they give it to you by text, they give it to you by a letter or some kind of notice on in front of your case that you didn't see, anything like that, unless it was a physically management came to you to tell you about it, then you don't have to list anything. As long as you don't reply back,
Right.
You
you
don't
never
have to,
got it.
Then you
Yep,
never got it.
That's exactly right. All right. Last question. This one's kind of short, and this is a fun one for me.
Okay.
Let's see. I will redact the person's name. I wanted to ask your opinion on proper scanning procedure when it comes to situations outlined in section 322.312A in the M41 handbook. Dude, I love that our listeners know to like cite the thing. Ah, that brings me joy.
That means they're reading.
It does mean they're reading.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is great. So the manual does a good job of explaining what to do, but fails to address how to use the scanner properly to avoid any issues from customer and management alike. So I ask, what is the proper way to scan packages that have been attempted but can be redelivered the next day at customers' homes?
I have explanation this too.
Go for okay. So just to clarify what the carrier is talking about. In the M41, when it talks about delivering parcels, it says that you're supposed to attempt the parcel to the door. You're going to knock, 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 and you're going to try to give it to the person. If the person is not normally home or you don't know, then you're going to leave a 3849. Actually, I think if you don't know, you're supposed to reattempt it the next day.
Yeah, unless the package says leave it at the front door.
Yeah, unless it says leave it, if it has the carrier release.
Which
right?
most packages do.
Yeah. And so you leave the 3849. If you're not going to leave the package, then you leave the 3849. But if the customer is normally home, then we can automatically reattempt delivery the next day. So that's the regulation that's in the M41. But the question is,
scanning.
If you're going to do that, how do you scan it? All right.
Well, technically, you're supposed to scan every package is in front of the door, in front of the house.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's scanning integrity.
And you should not be scanning anything at the station. Okay.
Right.
So if you have any packages that you have to make an attempt on, don't do it at the station because it's an automatic failure after 1 o'clock.
You know, that's interesting because I scan my vacation holds. If they're on vacation right now, I scan it as customer hold while I'm at the station.
In the morning or in the afternoon?
Yeah, in the morning.
Because I said 1 o'clock.
After 1 o'clock. Okay.
After 1 o'clock in the afternoon, anything you scan at the station is a failure for management.
Gotcha. That's
okay?
true. But anyway,
okay? And so what that does is that it screws up their numbers the next day and it pisses them off. And that is the reason why they go after you by scanning it at the station.
Because crap rolls downhill.
Now, here's the thing. Article 16 says all discipline has to be corrective, right?
Yeah, rather than punitive.
So instead of just disciplining a carrier for that, why doesn't management just say, hey, man, we have to have everything scanned out on the street by 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, whatever that is.
I'm sure some management does do that.
And actually go and do that instead of trying to punish a carrier all the time.
Right. We have a really good question about that scanning integrity that'll have to wait for another episode.
Right.
Yep.
And so all the manager had to do go to the carriers. Hey, man, can you please, if it's something that's being attempted or whatever, do it on the street and not at the station.
But to get to this carrier's question specifically, what do I scan it as if I'm going to automatically reattempt it tomorrow?
Okay. You don't scan unless you get approval from management when you come back to the station.
Don't scan it at all?
Don't scan it. No, you still have to do the scan of some kind.
But that's the question. What do you scan it as? Yeah.
Because you're back at the station, you have to get approval from management. Until you get approval from management what to do with it, you don't scan it yet because that will fail, and that's what happens.
Okay. All right. Okay? So let me interpret Michael's answer. The correct answer is ask your supervisor.
Yes.
Get your supervisor's instruction on how to handle the situation. Right. Yeah. That's actually a really good answer.
And you know what they do most of the time?
They tell you just leave it.
No.
What do they tell you?
Go back out in the street and scan it from there.
Yeah, sure.
That's what my supervisor.
But I mean, you could also ask the supervisor in advance of going out is, hey, this is what it says in the M41. You know, now, essentially the same question that was posed to us.
Management can have a certain amount of failures. So if they know they're at that certain percentage where they know they can fail, then they'll tell the carriers, hey, scan it in the office. But at least they know that's going to fail.
Right. Yeah. So the interesting thing, like for me, I think the right answer here, the right answer is do what your supervisor says regarding how they want you to scan this piece. The fact of the matter is the scanner is not set up to accommodate this part of the M41. This practice is not built into the scanner.
Yeah, this is a program that was created by management to do it this way.
Right.
And so since they are the one who created this program,
they don't want you to redeliver it again
to make sure that you don't get any problems, you ask management, and then now it's on them, not you.
So the carrier has been scanning it as customer hold, which is reasonable. That's essentially what we're doing. We're going to hold it at the post office for another day, try it again tomorrow. You could also, I mean, I like to think of the scanner as asking us a series of questions. And it asks you, did you deliver this or did you attempt to deliver it? To me, the answer is number 2, attempted. And then why didn't you deliver it? To me, the answer is no authorized recipient.
But here's the thing is, when you're out delivering the mail,
Yeah.
and you're at front of that house, why didn't you scan it? Attempt it.
Well,
why did you
the
wait till
scanner-
you're back at the station?
No, the person does scan it at the residence, but they're saying like there's no appropriate scanner event to cover what's actually happening.
If you scan at the door,
Yeah.
this stops the time.
Yeah, right. That's not what's at issue.
Okay. But then if you scan at the door, then that doesn't come as a problem for management the next day.
Right.
If you
Let
only
me go
scan.
back to the question. It's not this has nothing to do with management. It's simply what's the proper way to scan a package that's been attempted, but then I'm going to redeliver again the next day because the customer is usually home.
Well, then you scan it at the front of their house. when
Right,
you
but what
deliver
do
it.
you scan it as? On day
Normal.
one.
Normal.
What's normal? What?
Okay.
what-
So it's already attempted on that one, and you make the next
No,
day
no, no.
attempt.
We're talking about on day one. When you're attempting it the first time. All right, let's imagine there's a very attractive woman on my house or on my route. And I know that she's usually home because I pay attention to these things. So I go and I knock on the door. And sadly, I'm waiting for her to answer the door and it's going to be great for morale. She doesn't answer the door. She doesn't come to the door. I know she's normally available. Well, the M41 says that if the customer is normally available, then we're just going to bring it back to the post office, deliver it again tomorrow. Okay, so today, on day one, when I'm standing there sad with my package in my hand,
You scan it attempted,
attempted, and then
person
no
not
authorized
available.
recipient.
Yeah, no authorized.
That's what I would do too.
And it stops the clock.
Right. It's a stop the clock scan, so that should
And-
satisfy management. Now, here's the issue. The scanner is going to ask you to scan a 3849 to complete that scan.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, scan the 3849, and then you could just chuck the 3849 because you don't need to leave a 30. In fact, getting back to the M41,
If you're going to bring it the next day.
you don't need to leave a 3849 if you're going to bring it the next day. So you can scan the 3849 to complete the scan, but you don't have to leave it. You could just chuck it.
Right.
And then, you're going to ride on it for redeliver the next day.
Unless you want the customer to come and pick it up at the post office, then you leave the 30 or 40.
You're right, exactly. But that's not the situation the questioner was asking about. Okay, so we got that squared away. I'm really proud of that, standing there with my package in my hand. That was maybe the highlight of the episode. For
Well,
me.
the highlight was when you go up there to sign, get a registered to
Oh,
the
yeah.
sign, and a beautiful lady comes up and accidentally drops a towel. That's an
Yeah, that's
I've
the
had that
highlight.
happen.
That's never happened to me. No, all these years, nothing like that. But one time, we'll save
anyway,
that story
we're-
for another day.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Send more questions. Yeah.
Exactly. Or if
Classes
you have
of
any,
mail.
or if you want to question me live, you can call me at 702-724-6355.
There you go.
And sometimes it's best if you text me first and then call. Because if it's an unknown number that I don't know where it's from,
Right.
I may think that you're a telemarketer, then I don't answer.
It's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. So send a text first.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We will catch you all next time.